Dave Hula here at Rimwood Farms in Charles City, Virginia. Just about 20 miles west of Williamsburg, 60 miles from the Atlantic Ocean. 2013, our crops, we had a struggle on our small grain harvest. We were getting a lot of rain, so a little bit of sprouted wheat. It took for a long harvest. Then that also meant we had a long planting period of our double crop soybeans. So just a challenge there. Corn, now kind of just the opposite. We weren't too awfully wet early at the corn planting time, but then once we got the corn planted, where normally we start measuring rainfall in inches and tenths, we were measuring in feet. So we were getting a half a foot of rain or 3/4 of a foot of rain. So once we got our corn planted, had great even emergence. Man, we were just excited about it, but then we'd get these 6-7 inches of rain, kind of in this little area, and that presented some challenges. And we didn't finish planting corn until the 1st of July. We had some replants, and then we had replants after those replants. We decided to try something else from a standpoint of nutrient management and how to build organic matter. We looked at poultry litter. In the past, we were using some biosolids. Well, we had access to some litter around, so we said, well, let's give it a try on corn acres. Several reasons. One, can we build organic matter? Two, can we subsidize or supplement some of our commercial fertilizer needs with organic nutrients, that from the litter? Our soils have a tendency to be hard to build up in phosphate. Economically, we can meet the plant's needs, but to try to build it for a rotation, it can be costly. So we got some nutrients from a friend of mine, or some litter from a friend of mine up in New York, from a layer operation, Sunrise Farms, and we put it on some irrigated corn ground. It's been continuously no-tilled since 1991, so we don't have a erosion problem, but we noticed that when we started no-tilling, we built our organic matter about 0.5%, and then it plateaued. We have a lot of residue from year in and year out, but our organisms in the soil are decaying it so fast, we're just not building that organic matter. What kind of results will we see? We'll know more when we harvest the crop, and then we'll also know a lot more once we pull soil samples. Did we accomplish what we were trying to do? This year, we did some grid samples, 2.5 acre grids, and comparing that to our various or EC, we didn't know if we were getting as good of recommendations based on our lineman requirements. When you took both maps, various with the EC and the soil sample data and that to be applied application maps, looking at your phosphorus and potash, and we took those two maps and spread them out, we could see similarities. But when we look at their pHs, that's where we saw our biggest differences. Years ago, my dad and granddad, they were involved in what was a 100 bushel yield club contest. And it was a local contest. And then they learned that comparing their results with some of the neighboring farmers and seeing their results, it was a learning tool. Well, when I started farming full time, and then probably in the mid-90s, we started entering into the NCGA contest. We would compete in the local contest, but started participating with NCGA, and that same philosophy followed suit. We were comparing ourselves not only to local farmers, but then we were comparing ourselves to the Midwest. They have their category of the single A, and then or the double A, and everybody else is a single A. So when we saw that we weren't competing as well as they were getting higher yields than we were, but it kind of gave us a little incentive to try to see what we could do. And then as we started to attend the commodity classics, then you put a name with a face, and then you can kind of exchange ideas. And as we were doing that, we were picking up a lot of useful tips. I guess our success in the NCGA contest has been not that we know everything about growing corn. I think we take great pride in that we can surround ourselves with people that know a lot about corn production. And we get useful tips from our fertilizer industry, we get useful tips from the chemical industry folks, and now with the seed technologies, how they have improved. And then also you're getting into this biologicals and some of the plant hormones and just improving plant health. So all that's kind of helping us kind of get to the next level. Fungicides, that's become more part of our operation, and just plant health. And we've seen that that's helping our bottom line. And we've taken these NCGA plots, and yeah, we've spent a lot of money on them, but yet when you can get a return off of 350 to on up bushels higher, sure, it takes a lot of money to do that, but then also you're getting a huge return on your investment as well. So, some of the take-home things that we've learned from the NCGA contest is not only what neighboring farmers have done, is some of the things that we've saw to be successful on these small plots. Every farmer should be able to take a small area of his farm, and whether he's profitable with it or not, put some money into it, see what he can do, and then if he can make it profitable, that's great. But if he can see where he can get past a yield barrier, then that would overall help his whole operation. And we have done that. We've been able to take some things, for example, pop-up fertilizer. And I'm not talking about the fertilizer beside the row, I'm talking about fertilizer in the furrow. We have gone away from that from years ago. Now they've got safer products, and we've started to incorporate that into our overall farming practices.